Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm Mohammad Imran Ansari. I have come up with another episode of a wonderful topic, Kanban. Have you ever felt busy whole day, but at the end of the day, nothing actually got finished? That's not a productivity problem. That's a workflow problem. In this video, I'll show you how Kanban, a simple visual system used by top tech teams, DevOps engineers, and product companies use to deliver faster, calmer, and smarter outcome. Now, if you're a beginner, this video is made exactly for you. So let's start. Before Kanban, we must understand the Agile Manifesto. Kanban is not a random board. It's built on an Agile Manifesto. Agile says four powerful things: people over processes, working software over heavy documentation, customer collaborations over contracts, and responding to change over fixed plan. So now Kanban respects these values by not enforcing ceremonies, not forcing rules, and allow the teams improve gradually. So we understand like this, right? Process and tools are important, but more important is individuals and interactions. Similarly, documentation is a part of the job, but working software is the real crux of the outcome. Contract negotiation is important, but more important is customer collaboration. We should follow a plan, but we should also be ready to respond to a change. These things are very, very important values or four key values of the Agile Manifesto, which Kanban follows. So let's understand what exactly is Kanban. Kanban is a visual way to manage your work. Instead of guessing what's happening, you see it, you visualize it, right? Your work moves from to do to in progress and to done. But there's a secret sauce behind it. You don't push the work, you pull the work based on your capacity. You know your limits, how much work is happening at once. That's how your delivery becomes smoother, right? So you visualize the work, pull the work, you set the work in progress limit. We'll talk more about it in the next upcoming sections, and you will also measure and improve. Now, Kanban is built on these four core practices. Number one, visualize the workflow. If work is invisible, problem stays invisible, right? Limit work in progress, right? Applying limit to the number of items which are in active state, because too much work is equals to slow work or no work. Manage the flow, monitor on how the work is being flowing. Stop asking who is busy, ask, is my work flowing, is my work getting completed, you know and address the blockers immediately. Make policies explicitly. Make sure everyone should know when the work is called done, what is the rule to be called it as done. And these four rules can transform the whole team, and your work can be delivered faster. Now let's talk about work in progress limit. If you read the definition, it says work in progress limit is a cap of maximum number of items allowed in a specific workflow stage or for a team at one time, right? So if you see here, this is the place where most of the team struggles. Work in progress means work in progress. And it says, do not take new work until your existing work is over, right? Now, if you see on the in progress column, there is a max WIP limit of 3. There are already 3 number of items in the in progress. So that means we cannot pull a new item from the to do until one moves to the review. That means we need to make sure that this rule is being followed, and then we can continue further. Now comes the context switching activity. Now this is kind of an experiment which you can do it on a piece of paper. Let's understand what is context switching. Context switching, when you're working with one project or when you're working on a project, you have some context associated with it. You make up your mind, you gather all the facts, and your memory, which is already focused on that particular task, holds all this information. Now, when you move from one context, one project to another, now again to start something new or maybe with the existing work, you have to gather all the facts, and now you need to focus only on this item. So now because you are switching context from project to project or task to task, there is a chance that there will be a loss of time, right? There will be a loss in the time. Now, if you see, there is a productivity loss due to context switching, which is around 40%. If you work on one single task, then you are 100% focused. If you're working on two tasks, then you are 40% focused. There is a 20% loss. When you're working on three tasks together, only 20% work is being done, right? That's how it has been evaluated. Now, we will understand this simple thing by doing a simple experiment. So, take a piece of paper and pen. Maybe I'll give you a few seconds. Okay. And then what you need to do is write in from left to right, write the first thing as Roman number, then write A, and then the numeric 1. Again, go down, write 2 Roman number, B, and then 2, numeric 2. Then again on the third line, write 3, capital C, and then the numeric 3. And go on till number 10. Okay. And please note down the timing as well. Now, once you're done with it, try this approach. Now you are working on a single task. We'll first finish the Roman numbers 1, 2, 3, right? Then you will finish ABC and then you will do 1, 2, 3. Let's do it. There you go. Right? So you found out that it was easier when you are only dealing with Roman numbers and you were able to write it faster. Only dealing with alphabets, it was faster. Only dealing with numericals, it was faster. But when you went out of the context from Roman to alphabet to numerical, there was a context switching and there was a time loss. So this is something which is very important, and that's why we say stop starting and start finishing the work. Now let's talk about the measurement. As we spoke earlier, we will also use the metrics to measure our performance. How are we improving? What is the reality? What is the insights, right? So there are four Kanban metrics. One is lead time, cycle time, wait time, throughput, and work in progress. And why do we need to measure? To understand the reality, whether what I feel to what the data shows. Forecast the work which will be done in future based on the historical output. Improvement on understanding or identifying the bottleneck and spotting the high wait time, right? So these are the things which we need to focus. And there is a beautiful law called Little's law. Average lead time is equals to average work in progress divided by average throughput. Now, if you reduce work in progress limits, delivery improves and maths never lies, right? So this is the law. You have different tools like visualization tools like Jira, Azure DevOps, where you can see the CFD timestamp, where did it started, when did it ended, what is the control chart, what is the review weekly. All these things can be done through the visualization. Now, cycle time answers one question. Once we start work, how fast do we finish it? It's measured from start to finish. If the cycle time is high, it means there are blockers, there are dependencies, or there are unclear work. So reduce the work in progress, reduce the WIPs, work in progress, remove blockers, and right size the task. So if you see from the point of time where you started the work till the time you finished it, okay, that is called the cycle time. You still have the charts which you can use. Now, the next metrics comes as lead time. This is also very important because it is from the customer perspective, right? Now, the definition says the total time elapsed from the moment a customer request is made until the value is delivered, right? So now this includes the queue time, wait time, process time, blocker time, etc. Okay, so it's like delivery time minus the request time. If you see this visual flow, it had come from the request time till the moment it was entered into the backlog, right? The first time till the time it is delivered. So it's not so. And what was the cycle time? If you compare, it was start work and finish, right? These two were the endpoints. But here it is the time taken to deliver the project from the request of that particular project. So now again, this is also having the same importance. This helps the Kanban improves the predictability, and predictability builds the trust with the user, right? So this is something very important. Wait time, the hidden cost of the flow, or I should also say the hidden enemy. Now here's a shocker. Most of your lead time is actually waiting for reviews, waiting for approvals, and waiting for dependencies. Kanban exposes these waiting times so that team can attack it. They can understand where was the blocker, why there was a wait time, which process is taking more time. Okay, all these things are very, very important. Swarming, strict work in progress, and clear ownership reduce the wait time drastically. So here is the formula of it. All these things can help to improve the efficiency of our process. Kanban does not add useless meetings. These are flow focused events. Now, we should have daily Kanban, which is something called 10 or 15 minutes of stand up to understand where are we blocked, who needs help, rather than status updates. So no status updates, it is about helping each other, right? Replenishment. What do we pull next? It could be weekly, it could be bi-weekly, that's fine. Service delivery review. Bi-weekly, retrospective, using data, quality to using data, lead time quality to check if the team is meeting the customer's expectations. Risk review, monthly review to identify and mitigate delivery risks, blockers, dependencies, and understand. So you can have daily risk review. Where can we go wrong? What is at risk? Flow review. Is our work smoother? What things we can improve? Kind of a retrospective, right? Every event exists to protect the flow. Now, the next step is how to do Kanban. Now, let's do a step by step implementation of the system. And there would be two parts. One would be design and setup, the other would be run and improve, right? First, what we will do, we will try to map the workflow, understand the task, visualize the policies, like what would be the entry and exit criteria of each column, maybe like defining the column names, to do, blockers, wait time, inspection, etc. Create the board. We can use digital board or we can use also a manual board. But there are tools like Azure DevOps, Jira, which you can use in order to make sure that the board is very effectively tracking, and it's very easy these days. Set an initial work in progress limits. We can start with lower progress limits, maybe 2 or 3, and then when we are doing our retrospective, we will understand more about our systems, how this is working, how these WIP limits are working for us. We can improve or decrease based on the outcomes. Now the second part is run and improve. Now here we will pull the work, measure the flow, improve the consistency or continuously. We will do a continuous improvement, and we will also make sure that there are regular meetings. We are meeting each other, whether it is a review meeting, whether it is a stakeholder meeting, whether it is a stand up, to make sure that we are removing the blocker and work is not stopping, right? If you read this, I have pointed it out. Don't try to be perfect from day one. Kanban is an evolutionary change. Start with what you do now, respect the current roles, and improve incrementally. Let's recap. Now, what we need to do, we need to visualize work, we need to limit the work in progress, we need to measure the flow, improve continuously. And we say Kanban is not just a board. It's a strategy for continuous improvement. If you found this useful, like, share, and subscribe. Comment Kanban, and I'll share you the real DevOps Kanban board example, and kindly share it with a person who is very keen in learning about Agile, DevOps, or Cloud Journey. Thank you very much.